Now, before we get this video started, kidnapping, we do not condone that.
Hey man, can you just give me a hand look at this for a second? Yeah, there's something from down there.
But unfortunately, desperate times call for desperate measures. And look, I don't really care how he got him here, but I am happy to have Isaac here to help me with the electronics on this Triton. Alright guys, how you going? Today we are doing the twin turbo Triton. Ben wants to do skids. Let's do it. Let's go. This is the twin turbo Triton, and as you can see, there is a long list of things to do, so let's get into it.
Welcome to Vickridge Customs. So on today's episode, we do things my way and we make Reese stress. So basically, here's a gauge holder. Think it's pretty good. Is it perfect? No. Will it do? Absolutely. There's a little bit of custom work on the back, but you're not looking from behind. We're looking forward, Reese. We're staying positive. Into the wall, not behind. Don't worry about the crowd. It's not a Mustang. It's fine.
Hang on. Give me 2 seconds, right? The whole
Reese, you think me not make thing, but I make thing good. You like?
I don't know. Alright, there we go.
This is Isaac. How you going, mate? What are you doing here?
We are wiring up Ben's gauges.
And what do you think about Ben's amazing custom gauge thing?
I mean, it's not great, but it's not perfect.
It's not great, it's not perfect, I love it. Push harder, Ben! Jeez, I think that drill bit might be a bit blunt.
It's redemption from the bonnet.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. It's brutal.
Do I commit?
Commit!
Alright, I'll just commit.
Send it.
This is where I think
That was an amazing paint job we did. Yeah. This marks a bit off.
That's all she needed. Are we ready?
Yep, let's have a look at it. Let's see this.
Give it the... Oh, what the hell?
How did you do
Why
it?
did that get so far out?
How did you do it? Just put it up again? How have you done this?
That's good. I feel like I read the wrong part on the... Do you know if you measure twice, I think that's the saying, right? Not measure once. It was measure twice, cut once.
Oh,
It's all about that sound at the end. Vickridge Customs.
don't text me about drinking because technically I'm sailing.
What's that, a Silverchair song, I'm a Freak? That was written about me.
Alright, so if you have a look here, we've got the aftermarket plug and we've got this three-way plug that's been cut in for some reason. And if we plug these two together and we try and turn it on, this is what happens. But if we plug these in, this is what happens. Alright, Parkers. Nice. Normal lights and then high beams. Now we need to find a place where this wiring isn't going to get A, damaged, and B, wet, because just like the Australian roads, Ben's bonnet has more holes in it than necessary. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so some of those holes might be my fault, but I fix more things than a break, just like these tail lights. As you can see, you put your foot down and they dim. You take your foot off and they go bright, so something is definitely not right here, just like the headlights. I think the polarity is backwards, so we got to fix it up with another relay. Well, what I've done is I've chased the brake wire all the way back to this spot here, unraveled it, chopped it, and I've put in this 4-way relay. So what this relay is doing, it is reversing the polarity. So normally what it was doing, without putting your foot on the brake, it was sending 10 volts through that line. Now that 10 volts goes to one of the pins on this relay, and on the other side also has a positive feed. So what happens is now when you put your foot on, that goes negative, which then allows the power to go through to that rest of the line. So I've just swapped everything around. So now when you put your foot down, that clicks, sends power to the back, and there you go. Another thing we need to do is fix up all the little bits of wiring here. As you can see, it is all just twisted together. So I'm going to fix that while I'm here. Now, as you can see, that looks a lot better. Now, we've got a bit of a rainbow thing happening here, and the reason why I've done it like that is so I know what they are. Now, normally on most wiring things, batteries is yellow wire, so that's what that is. That's the battery. The accessories is usually red, and the switch on is normally white. So I've just used what their generic color coding is. I've put orange as when the key goes to start. Now the reason I've done that is because Ben's got a push button start there, so that is going to be what's going to be needed, and I don't want to chop it all apart again just to put an extra wire in. As you saw before, put that green one in there, and that is hooked up to the light switches here. So while I've been in the car fixing up this dodgy wiring, Ben has been under the bonnet fixing up his dodgy cheapness. That's right, he is putting in some high quality oil lines to the turbo and fixing up the turbo feed line. All right, Ben, what are you doing, buddy?
Cutting some tube.
What for?
Making my turbo return line a little bit longer.
Why?
A bit too short.
Why are we doing that?
Yeah, it's a bit short, so just gonna make a hard line and go around it. It's all good.
Is it because you don't want your car to catch on fire?
That too. A bit close to the manifold. Might get a bit spicy, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there it goes. Also, while he was in there, he ended up putting in a cheap fuel regulator. But I will say, he's doing an awesome job doing it. And when we do upgrade to the E85 methanol compliant one, it's going to be perfectly at home where he's mounted it.
There you go, Reese.
Bro, and look how professional that is.
Strong like ox. See, I have my moments.
Looks good. Now, one of the first things we did to make room for the twin turbos was remove the factory battery mounts and the battery. So now we're putting that thing back in, but we're putting it at the back of the car in the tray where the fuel cell and the actual car cab are protecting that battery. And as you can see, he's putting in some nut inserts so it's bolted nicely down. You will also notice that we got the power steering pump right next to it. We can hook the power straight up to that. These things do draw a lot of power, and it's nice to have that right next to it. The other thing is we're running the power lines through the cab, but we're going to show you that on another episode. Now, believe it or not, I really don't want to see this thing go up in smoke. So while the boys are finishing off at the back and Isaac's doing the wiring, I'm going to be here and I'm going to try to hook this up to the fuel cell, just using fittings that I have around the shed. We're going to do it properly, but first off, we just want to get rid of this because this is jank. First things first, we're going to remove all the jank hosing out of this engine bay and put in new stuff so we can run this car on 98 ROM fuel. Now, the reason why we're doing this and not going straight to the methanol and E85 is so we can test the car, make sure we got everything right before we go to that next step. Now, before we even got this thing started last time, I had already made some AN fittings that go onto the standard fuel rails, as you can see right here. So all we got to do is get the corresponding AN fittings, some hose, bolt it all up, and then move on to the rear. So as you can see, we are using 1/2 inch fuel line. This is a standard fuel line, so we will have to change this because methanol or E85 will definitely eat this out. Now, I'm only connecting up one pump. I'm hoping that the one-way valve in these stops the fuel coming backwards. We're going to find out pretty quickly. But yeah, just doing this way is going to be more than enough to get this car running, even with the aftermarket ECU, until we're ready to start boosting it up. But yes, as you can see, you don't have to use braided line. This is a standard fuel line that you can buy from any automotive store, and it will work with your AN fittings. Now it's been a while, let's check up on Isaac and Ben. I'm sorry.
That was my f***ing shit.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare that bad. Oh fuck, I'm so sorry. So as you can probably tell, Isaac was done with wiring after this point. So him and Ben are now moved on to doing the fans for the rear radiators. Now what they're doing is they're using a screwdriver to remove some of the fins so they can squeeze through the plastic mounts that hold the fan to the actual radiator. Now I got to give credit to Isaac. He is a champion. He went and finished off the wiring on the fans and has done an awesome job. Thank you so much, mate. We appreciate you. Alright guys, here you go. As you can see here, we've got that big line coming into the pumps that are protected by the shield. We've got one pump connected. It comes into these small lines. As you can see, I've made something there to make this work. This is just so we can wash out all these lines, because you can see there's a lot of hard line here. Comes up, and then we go into that fuel pressure regulator that I was doing before. Also guys, if you have a look, you'll see that we've already started doing the wiring, earth straps and stuff. So we're definitely knocking a lot of things off the list. We want to do a skit for you guys, but we're just not there yet, and we're pretty much running out of time. Ben is heading to Canada, and probably by the time I post this, I'll have some videos of him blowing something up, knowing Ben. But yeah, it's looking great. It's coming along. We'll see you on the next episode. If you like what you're watching, please subscribe, thumbs up, share to your mates, and yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully at a burnout pad real soon. Catch you guys. Now, just because Ben is on the other side of the planet doesn't mean he is resting. He is working with NLR, that's Next Level Rides in Canada, so check him out. Please like and subscribe their channel. They're a bunch of good blokes over there, and we will see you again on the next one.